It's Monday, September 29th.
And we found a way to get it done, and now the real fun starts. This is when the real fun starts.
Your American League East champion Toronto Blue Jays may be done partying, but the time they host the playoff, they clinch next Saturday.
They kept delaying. So we sat in the plane for an hour, but we got through customs pretty good.
Back in business, airports across Canada are back to normal after a passport kiosk outage delayed some travelers for hours last night.
I'm very thankful every day that to have known Wendell.
And what's in a name? Why a Prince Albert Field has a brand new moniker. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl Rummel.
And I'm Kayleen Sawatsky. Good morning. Happy Monday. How about those northern lights out there this morning?
Words are hard.
Words are so hard.
The northern lights pictures are already coming into the inbox. They're spectacular.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Send those in to us to yourmorningsaskatchewan at ctv.ca.
I think it's getting colder.
Actually, tomorrow, back up to 30 degrees. Can you believe it?
30 degrees. Let's get to your headlines. We'll get back to your weather forecast in just a moment. The latest round of Trump's tariffs go into effect this week, this time targeting pharmaceuticals, kitchen cabinets, and heavy trucks. It's yet another blow to the hard-hit auto industry so closely intertwined with the American economy. CTV's Colton Prale leads us off.
For months, Donald Trump's tariffs have targeted what's inside trucks like these. But soon, it'll be the trucks themselves facing tariffs. The U.S. president says beginning Wednesday, medium and heavy-duty trucks will face 25% tariffs. But the White House has yet to specify what's impacted.
I don't know how it's going to affect our existing customers because we still have a couple trucks that deliver, and I'm not sure how those tariffs are going to affect it.
The federal government says Canada exports over $3 billion of medium and heavy-duty trucks to the United States. And what exactly is tariffed could change where the impacts are felt.
Trucks could be fire trucks, could be buses. And so we'll get a sense of whether this affects Ontario or Manitoba and Ontario or Manitoba, Ontario, and Quebec.
Edison Motors is a new truck manufacturer in British Columbia, which focuses on electric trucks. They say American interest has been high, even selling to the U.S. government. But the proposed new tariffs mean now they're looking elsewhere for buyers.
I would rather focus on the Canadian, Australia market. Until the U.S. has a little bit more stable government, I'm going to be a Canadian manufacturer.
Trump's new tariffs, like those on autos, steel, and aluminum, use national security legislation as their justification. Trade lawyers say that makes them harder to fight against.
Really what this all means is this is something we're probably going to have to negotiate with the Trump administration.
The federal government recently announced $6 billion in support funds for businesses impacted by tariffs. Asked if it will be extended to companies hit by Trump's new tariffs, officials were unavailable to comment.
Colton, thank you. Happening in Washington later today, U.S. President Donald Trump will meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House. Trump is reportedly ready to share a new peace proposal in Gaza after a number of countries recognized Palestinian statehood at the UN General Assembly. Speaking on Fox News yesterday, Netanyahu said he's working with the president's team toward a peace plan. Though it hasn't been finalized, it will be Netanyahu's fourth visit to the U.S. since Trump returned to the White House in January. Saskatoon police are investigating the city's 8th homicide of 2025. Jeremy Dodge, what do we know at this point?
We know very little, Daryl, but police will say about 3:30 a.m. yesterday, a man brought into St. Paul's Hospital with serious injuries. He was later pronounced dead. The Saskatoon Major Crimes Section is investigating, and we'll have more as soon as we can get it to you. Well, a person was rescued late Saturday night from the South Saskatchewan River near the Circle Drive Bridge. Emergency crews responding to reports of a person in the water just before 11:30. The Saskatoon Fire Department, Water Rescue Team, Saskatoon Police, and Medavie Health Services dispatched to the scene. A rescue boat was launched, and they successfully lifted an injured individual into the boat. Patient was given initial medical care, went on shore, and was then taken to hospital by ambulance. The extent of the injuries are unknown. Police are investigating. And flags at some City of Saskatoon facilities were lowered to half-mast Sunday in recognition of Police and Peace Officers National Memorial Day, annually observed on the last Sunday in September. The observance honors the dedication, service, and sacrifice of officers who work to keep Canadians safe while paying tribute to those who have lost their lives in the line of duty. The symbol of lowering the flag meant to serve as a solemn reminder of the risks taken every day by police and peace officers. Police and Peace Officers National Memorial Day was first officially proclaimed in 1998. Darrell, police in Michigan now say at least 4 people were killed, 8 others hurt after an attack at a Mormon church.
Jeremy, thank you. Police say the attacker drove his truck into the church in Grand Blanc, firing his weapon rather, and then setting fire to the church itself.
That suspect is a 40-year-old male from the city of Parton, who we identified as Thomas Jacob Sanford.
At this time, there were hundreds of people inside this church for Sunday service. Investigators are searching for the attacker's home and going through his cell records as they try to figure out what the motive was here. This is the 324th mass shooting in the U.S. this year, according to Gun Violence Archives. Today is day 272 of 365 for 2025. Of course, that's a lot of violence. A man is dead after being shot by a New Brunswick police officer.
I saw he had a gun, so I went and took off out the front door and heard the glass shatter on the back porch as I was getting out the front door and prayed to God.
This happened Saturday afternoon in a Moncton neighborhood. Officers responding to the report of a man robbing a bank on Mountain Road with a firearm. He then left the scene, stole a car, and entered a nearby home. When officers arrived on scene, they set up a containment area while the man fired shots from the house. The suspect then allegedly lit both the house and parked car on fire before attempting to run away. An officer discharged their firearm at the man, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. The investigation is ongoing. There's another candidate running for federal NDP leadership.
My name is Heather McPherson, and I am running to be the next leader of Canada's New Democratic Party.
Heather McPherson has represented the riding of Edmonton Strathcona since 2019. She is the only NDP MP in Alberta. During her campaign launch, McPherson promised to make the NDP a viable choice for voters again by bringing people together. McPherson and Avi Lewis are the 2 main candidates in that race so far. Regina Rugby Stars bringing home a silver medal from the Rugby World Cup. Gabrielle Sept was part of the team that captured a silver medal in a loss on Saturday to England. Friends and family gathered at Regina's District Brewing Company to watch. They're hoping this whole thing gives the sport a boost in the province.
Well, I think this is a real opportunity. When you come into kind of press coverage, rugby's be getting through the women, it's an opportunity for us to leverage that popularity to get young people, young girls and boys to come play the game. We've been on media. They can see it's exciting, playing in front of 82,000 fans, playing in the Olympics. You know, so there's a lot of things about the game that hopefully, you know, this success will translate into more people joining the game in Canada.
Gabrielle will be on the show later this week. Prince Albert's Wendell Whitter Field has been officially named in memory of a former PA football coach. On Saturday morning, more than 40 people gathered at the football field in East Prince Albert in recognition of a coach who helped mentor PA football players until today is passing in 2018. Wendell Whitter coached the Pee Wee Prince Albert River Riders rather. He then began coaching when he started in 2008. PA minor football president Tariffs says Whitter was responsible for creating the city's indoor flag football program, among other community contributions.
I'm very thankful every day that to have known Wendell and for him to have the on my life and on, as we've said, countless players and families' lives through his involvement in our sport.
The field is located at 998 Brannion Drive. It's been 10 long years, but the Jays have done it. They are AL East Division title winners for the first time since 2015.
2-2 again. And a drive to deep left field. Goal!
It took until the last game of the season, but the Jays have now clinched the American League East title. Alejandro Kirk was the hero, hitting the 2 clutch home runs, including a grand slam. The Jays beat the Tampa Bay Rays 13-4, and after that final out, it was party time in the clubhouse. The Jays' first AL East title win since 2015. As we mentioned, the Jays will host the ALDS Game 1 on Saturday. They'll play either the Yankees or my Boston Red Sox. That series starts tomorrow. All right, let's get over to the weather forecast. Kaylee Sawatsky, what's going on today?
Well, today we're seeing some very nice temperatures, many places reaching the low to mid 20s. Again, keeping in mind that the seasonal average for this time of year is going down. So this week it's down to about 15 degrees is normal. And again, many places today reaching those mid 20s. So above the seasonal average, but what we are talking about today is going to be those winds increasing into those afternoon hours. 9 degrees to wake us up in Regina. We are going to be seeing that sun start to shine when it's fully up in the sky. About 6:55 for Regina this morning, about 7:08 for Saskatoon. 8 degrees to wake us up in Saskatoon, and we do start to see those winds increasing a little bit earlier than we typically see them. The Futurecast not showing a lot for our afternoon today, just some varying levels of cloud cover for places across the province. Continuing on into tomorrow, again in the early afternoon, just seeing a little bit of cloud cover, but then it's into the evening hours that we start to see some of that rain pop up on your screen. It's in areas surrounding Saskatoon into the late hours, into the overnight hours as well. And then into Wednesday morning, we're still seeing that rain concentrating up north. Today's wind gusts showing that we are going to be seeing them up to about 50 kilometers per hour in many places, lit up in yellow on your screen. Those areas lit up in blue, not quite as strong. Could be seeing those up to about 30 kilometers per hour there. Current temperatures now showing that it's a cooler start to the day. South End at 1 degree, Nipawin at 1 degree as well. Hudson Bay sitting in those minus temperatures this morning at -2 to wake us up. In Swift Current, quite a bit warmer to start the day, 11 degrees, 4 degrees over in Weyburn, and 8 degrees in Estevan. Later on this afternoon, as I mentioned, those temperatures in the mid-20s, so Moose Jaw to about 25 degrees today. Swift Current with that wind up to 26. Weyburn 25, and Estevan expecting that high of 24 degrees today. Today in Regina, we're expecting that high to be 25 degrees. It's tomorrow, though, that we see those very high temperatures returning. So 30 degrees expected, 26 degrees on Wednesday, 22 on Thursday, and 20 degrees on Friday. In Saskatoon, seeing that nice high of 24 degrees today, not quite cracking into those 30-degree temperatures tomorrow, but still it's going to be very warm, well above the seasonal average. 28 degrees tomorrow, dropping down to 23 degrees on Wednesday, 21 degrees on Thursday, and 19 degrees on Friday.
In front of the Legislative Building Saturday afternoon, a walk for Silent Hearts took place for families affected by prenatal deaths. The Twinkle Star Project ships knitted baskets to those who've been impacted by prenatal death. Twinkle Star is not-for-profit and ships their baskets across the country through donations. Before the Twinkle Star Project started in 2016, those on the board would typically keep their stories to themselves.
The loss, no matter how early your loss is, it's heavy and it weighs on you. So having that basket when you go into the hospital or leave your doctor's office brings hope.
To talk about babies who have died just sounds so wrong to people, and it's got this taboo associated with it when there really shouldn't be. You lost your baby. It's nothing shameful about that.
We have the balloon.
The walk drew about 100 people.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
Well, in case you missed it, we now know who's going to be headlining the Super Bowl halftime show. Bad Bunny Bunny has been confirmed. He will be taking the stage for Super Bowl 60. The NFL also broke the news during last night's game between the Packers and Cowboys. It's been a busy year for Bad Bunny. He was in Happy Gilmore 2. He's coming off his residency in Puerto Rico, and he will host the season premiere of SNL on October 4th. So he is staying booked and busy.
Wow, goodness gracious. Now the bet begins, Jeremy, on who the guest stars will be. Who else is going to be in it?
Oh, man. I don't know who Bad Bunny hangs with, honestly. Maybe Adam Sandler will show up and do it.
Could you imagine? Just comes out, starts playing the Hanukkah song in the middle of the Super Bowl.
He would whip out the most angelic vocals, I bet.
Oh, I bet
Surprise us all.
I bet he would. All right, now everybody can start complaining about who the halftime show is, because that's what happens. Question of the day now. We want to describe our Mondays.
Yeah, so we are asking you to describe your Monday morning to us using only emojis. What would you use, Jeremy?
Oh, I don't know. How do I say this without showing you? I guess the yawn.
Okay.
And then some kind of grind, like work, and then I don't know, relief. And sleep again.
Maybe we should instead ask people to act out their Monday morning emoji.
That was the best of our 19 minutes so far.
Yeah.
What about you? Mine are all rough start. You saw the newscast. Mine's a rough start.
Mine would be the car emoji and the X, because we have one of our cars in the shop. So Daryl Rummold picked me up for work this morning.
I'm an excellent chauffeur. I didn't get a Yelp review yet, though. Text your name and your answer. Describe your Monday morning in a couple of emojis. 10400. Standard message rates may apply, or scan the QR code on your screen.
This morning at Costco, business is booming. Customers raving about it on social media.
Who can and should get a Costco membership?
These are things I would already be paying more for less product. I have no list, which is a very dangerous game.
The big box store beating expectations in their quarterly earnings, as consumers concerned about tariffs and inflation turn to the discount giant. Whether it's from the popular Costco hauls on social media or the convenience of online shopping, the brand is hitting a high note with younger customers. The company reporting nearly half its new members are under 40.
Costco's really interesting with their popularity with younger people. This organic marketing or user-generated content has really provided to be a huge marketing lift for Costco.
Costco also boasting a 15% increase in its e-commerce, with online sales exceeding $19.6 billion over the year. Costco saying their signature deals on food and household items keep customers coming back for more.
The in-house brand of Kirkland is sourced here in the United States. So the company has had to and been able to stave off a lot of the tariff upticks and swings.
Definitely better than my wedding day. And it cost me less.
Their CFO highlighting what TikTokers call a must-try $1.50 hot dog meal deal on their latest earning calls.
While our members love the treasure hunt items that they find in our warehouses and online, our everyday value items are also extremely important to them, especially in times of economic uncertainty. In fiscal year 2025, we sold over 245 million hot dog combos, over 157 million rotisserie chickens, and enough bath tissue to reach the moon and back over 200 times.
Well, truth and reconciliation, two very important words that have big meaning in Canada, especially this week. Let's go now to our Mike Siona with more.
Well, tomorrow is the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation here in Canada, and so we've decided to come down to the office of the Treaty Commissioner with Treaty Commissioner herself, Dr. Kathy Walker. Let's talk about the day as it's kind of grown here in Canada. Why is it so important?
Well, the day is very important because it actually stems from Orange Shirt Day, which was a grassroots action that came out of the story of survivor Phyllis Webstad, who had been given an orange shirt by her grandmother to wear on her first day of residential school. And that shirt was taken from her when she started on her first day. And so now that orange shirt has come to represent, you know, the taking of teachings of our grandparents, right? That happened at residential schools. You know, it's an accepted fact that the schools turned out to be a tool of cultural genocide, and so this day is meant to acknowledge the experiences and the stories of the students, the survivors that went through the schools, and the ones who didn't survive, and also, you know, to acknowledge the impact of the schools on their families, communities, and nations.
No doubt. It is a heavy history, to be sure. And I like that you said the acknowledged truth, because it is Truth and Reconciliation Day, and we'll continue to talk about that, see where we've come and where we have to keep going as a nation as the morning continues.
It's time for a look at our school day forecast, brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zones safe. If you're heading out the door in Regina this morning, we're still sitting at that 9-degree mark. Some winds coming in between 25 and 35 kilometers per hour. 8 degrees in Saskatoon to wake us up. A few more clouds over there this morning. By lunchtime, sitting at 20 degrees in Regina, 19 degrees by lunch in Saskatoon. And by final bell in both cities, we'll be sitting at those expected daytime highs. For Saskatoon, that is going to be 24 degrees with that sunshine and 25 degrees for Regina. And as we go to break, here's a look at today's gas prices in Regina. The most common cost to fill up is $1.35.9. You can find regular fuel for as low as $1.14.9. And in Saskatoon, the common cost to fill up is $1.35.9, and the lowest you might find is $1.22.9. Taking a look at the farm markets now, the street price of canola is at $553.02 per ton, and the futures price at $611.70 per ton. Amber Durham wheat is at $274.93 per ton, and red spring wheat at $233.74 per ton this morning. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading at 71.73 cents U.S. Coming up on your morning, what a new report from the Saskatoon Chamber suggests about business confidence.
Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl. Here's what's making news. First Nations communities across Saskatchewan are calling for transparency and accountability from the Federation of Sovereign Indigenous Nations. Despite repeated calls, the FSIN has been silent after a forensic audit questioned more than $30 million in spending. Keenan Sorokhan reports.
A number of First Nations leaders in Saskatoon Friday say the FSIN is leaving its people in the dark.
This is $34 million that's unaccounted for. Why? We need the executive to stand up and tell the truth.
An audit from Indigenous Services Canada wasn't able to fully track more than $34 million of expenses, with the majority of it meant as COVID funding for the FSIN's 74 member nations. It's recommending a series of changes to include more reporting, invoicing, and documentation of spending. Arkand, who is on the FSIN's Treasury Board, says he can't access certain information. The budgets or other documents shared at some meetings are vague or incomplete. At a meeting earlier this month where initial audit findings were presented, Arkand says the FSIN executive didn't say one word. He's nervous that 18 months after the audit period ended, the FSIN still wasn't able to explain its spending.
There was no actual receipts, no documentation. That is a problem. But everybody else had to comply. The FSIN is not above the rules.
Chiefs say this audit only shows 5 years of spending. What else has gone on before, and what could continue to happen without wide sweeping changes?
We need accountability, transparency, and
and return to the principles of integrity, the way our ancestors envisioned.
Speaker after speaker saying the FSIN executive is no longer listening to its chiefs or its people. Indigenous Services Canada says we will continue to monitor the matter in the context of those recommendations and will consult any appropriate authorities as required. Chiefs here are hoping FSIN's spending can be explained and that it doesn't owe money back. Keenan Sorakhan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Everything appears to be back to normal this morning after a passport kiosk outage at some major airports across the country last night.
It was pretty full, pretty crowded, not very well organized today until you kind of got by the machines, but after that it was okay.
This morning, Canada Border Services Agency said, quote, the outage has been resolved. Travelers may continue to experience delays in the short term as we resume normal operations, end quote. Some travelers were stuck for hours trying to get through customs. This issue affected Toronto, Montreal, and Calgary airports. It also hit some check-ins for flights outside of the country, heading into Canada. Declarations on the Arrive Can app were also shut down. A CBSA spokesperson said the outage was caused by an unforeseen technical issue during routine systems maintenance. The only grocery store in the town of Salisbury, New Brunswick, has been destroyed by fire.
This is a huge hit to the community, but like everything else, with Salisbury being as it is, we'll rally around it and then get rebuilt and probably be bigger than better.
This happened Sunday morning at Walker's Your Independent Grocer. No one was inside at the time of the fire. No one was hurt. Salisbury received help from nearby fire departments. There is very minimal damage to the businesses next to the grocer. The cause is not yet known. The annual No Foot Too Small walk was hosted in Saskatoon's Kinsman Park neighborhood on Saturday. The walk raises both money and awareness for pregnancy and perinatal loss through the Empty Arms organization. Hundreds of people came out to show their support. The event was also an opportunity for those dealing with grief to connect with one another.
You don't want to have that worst case scenario in the back of your mind all the time, and then it happens and you're kind of stuck thinking, well, what do I do now? So having this community and having the resources and the support that's available is so meaningful and helps, like we say, helps families walk their journey, and if we can walk beside them in any small way, we're grateful.
This was the 11th year for the walk. The darts community across the prairies continued to grow, especially here in Saskatchewan. The Saskatchewan Darts Association hosted an open tournament in Regina on Sunday to encourage young people and individuals alike to get involved. People traveled from Manitoba, Alberta, and across the province to compete against one another and practice their technique.
Sometimes the game can be very frustrating because I play a better game in my head than I do when I actually throw the darts. But I like the challenge, and I like playing players that are better than me because it brings your game up.
Since people now know that I play, and some of my friends are like, yo, let's go play darts and stuff. So hopefully, the more youth, hopefully I can inspire the youth, which I have some already with the younger kids. They look up to me, so that's good.
Kempton Duval, who you just heard from there, is among 4 people who will start taking dart skills overseas. He's going to Budapest, Hungary, participating in an international competition in October. The Battle of the Badges brought police and firefighters to the ice for a charity weekend over at Merlis Belcher Place. About 1,000 fans packed the stands for the first ever, the inaugural Battle of the Badges, which pitted local police officers and firefighters against one another. The matchup between the two cities' most decorated first responder teams saw a lot of penalties on the ice. Fans were treated to a pretty good matchup. It also raised money for the Cancer Foundation of Saskatchewan.
I was at the ticket booth checking everyone in, selling tickets at the front, and I asked everyone who they're with or who they're cheering for, and it was honestly a pretty good split. We didn't have a fire side or a police side. Everyone's kind of mingled, so that's how it goes. We'll see if it works out for everyone. But
the final score favored police 5-2. Organizers looking forward to the rematch. Team Europe is bringing the Ryder Cup back across the pond. footer by Shane Lowry clinched the win for Europe. They needed just 2 points on Sunday, but the U.S. made it interesting by almost sweeping the singles matchups. The U.S. was down all weekend, and the crowd took out their frustrations on European players. Rory McIlroy says some of the behavior was over the line. Let's turn our attention to the weather picture and a picture from Bruce. Look at those northern lights on the drive in from Rollo to Regina.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful start to the day. We were driving in this morning and staring at those two, just beautiful.
Yeah, stunning stuff, and conditions favorable for more tonight.
Yeah, we're seeing some very clear conditions, a lot of sun expected for the day today. The sun not quite up in the sky quite yet, as you can see on our cameras here. We're expecting the sun to be fully up in Regina by about 6:55, and in Saskatoon, that sunrise should be fully up by about 7:08 in the morning. Now, the radar and satellite looking pretty unremarkable, other than just a little bit of precipitation that popped up towards the western part of the province yesterday evening. Other than that, we're just talking about some cloud cover on the futurecast on the way, as well as the wind gusts going up today. As you can see, all those areas lit up in yellow. We could be seeing gusts up to about 50 kilometers per hour this afternoon, and yes, that does include Saskatoon and Regina later on this afternoon. Those areas lit up in blue, could be seeing them just a little bit more calm today, up to about 30 kilometers per hour. Current temperatures now showing that all across Canada, we're seeing some moderate temperatures to start the day. Vancouver a little bit warmer though, starting the day at 16 degrees already. Calgary at 8 degrees, Saskatoon at 8 degrees, Regina at 9 degrees to start the day. Winnipeg starting the day at 12 degrees, and Toronto starting at 13 degrees. Later on this afternoon though, the prairies are going to be very warm. Calgary up to 26 degrees today, Winnipeg up to 23. Over on the west coast though, seeing some more of that precipitation. Vancouver with that rain up to 16 degrees later on as well. Now in Toronto, the sun is shining this afternoon, up to 23 degrees, Montreal up to 25, and Halifax up to 24 degrees later on. In Regina, our 5-day forecast looking quite sunny, as you can see, for at least Monday and Tuesday, a whole lot of sunshine with a few clouds making their way in for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But the temperature is going to be well above the seasonal average again, keeping in mind that right now that seasonal average is going down. It's about 15 degrees this time of year. 25 degrees today, though, will be our high. So again, well above that. Even more above that tomorrow, 30 degrees expected. 26 degrees on Wednesday, 22 on Thursday, and 20 degrees on Friday, with temperatures going down even further for our weekend. Your forecast in Saskatoon, again, seeing some very beautiful temperatures, but a little bit more of that cloud cover coming into the conversation when we're looking throughout those central zones this week. 24 degrees today, 28 degrees tomorrow. So again, a very hot day expected. 23 degrees on Wednesday, 21 on Thursday, and then a nice high of 19 degrees on Friday, again dropping for your weekend. Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is coffee. Head to the contest page on our website or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word along with all of your information for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan's $20,000 giveaway.
Good morning. I'm Jermaine Franklin in the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Sunday. And as he's done all season, the top tennis player in the world, Carlos Alcaraz, gave us another jaw-dropping play. He was facing Brandon Nakashima in Tokyo. He gets drawn into the net. The first shot is good, but the second one, unreal. He won the match to improve to 64-6 this season. He's off to the semifinal and continues his quest for his 8th title of the year. He truly is the definition of must-see TV. And you can see more tennis right now on TSN2. The women are in Beijing. On top of that, tonight we have a Monday Night Football doubleheader on TSN. The Jets face the Dolphins and the Broncos host the Bengals. That's it from the SportsCenter newsroom. Have a great day.
The Saskatoon Chamber of Commerce has released the latest edition of its Saskatoon Chamber Business Snapshot. Joining me now, Chamber CEO Jason Abig. Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for asking. This report, it's a snapshot of the local business landscape. And the key finding in this one, softening confidence, some uncertainty heading into the fall.
A little bit, according to the data that we've received from the Canadian Chamber of Commerce, which does a compilation of Stats Can research and some surveying tools. Generally we're a pretty confident bunch. We have a pretty optimistic outlook, but this quarter it softened a little bit, more in line with other cities like Hamilton and Regina, among others. At the end of the day, there's been a lot of uncertainty over the last several quarters as we've watched this evolution of the Trump tariffs roll out. To this point, we've been feeling pretty good about things, but recently things have softened a bit.
Yeah, and the report gets a little specific as well. Some of the biggest obstacles for businesses. What do we find there?
Well, we always ask, what are your sort of top 10 business obstacles, the things that are keeping you up at night? Not surprisingly, rising inflation remains at the top. The Bank of Canada has cut interest rates, as we saw just a couple of weeks ago, and that has, I think, probably shored up some confidence. But the fact of the matter is, it is very expensive still to get the inputs that many businesses need to deliver the products and services that they need to. And so inflation remains top of mind. And the fact is, there's 95% of our economy here in Saskatchewan is protected under our existing trade agreement. Only 5% is really exposed to all of the tariff I'll call it nonsense that has been going on over the last several months. So what we have to do, I think, Jeremy, is make sure that we are grounded in our own situation here. We're not necessarily getting drawn into the conversation and the concerns of, places like Southern Ontario and Quebec, which are manufacturing economies, aluminum, steel, auto. That's where we get 95% of our news and commentary on the economy. And if we listen to that without really thinking about what our situation is here, what our context is here, we can get drawn into really sort of a pessimistic view of our economic future. And so I'm just encouraging all of our members and businesses everywhere to stay grounded in what our situation is without necessarily getting drawn into that other conversation that's happening on the other side of the country.
Yeah, and that's why we love to have you on occasionally as well. One other thing, you're talking about rising costs. One thing that is going to cost a little more this week, and that is salaries. Minimum wage increases to $15.35 an hour October 1st in Saskatchewan. That's a 35-cent an hour jump on Wednesday. What's the mood on that?
Yeah, we polled our members earlier this summer when the province was starting to think about this. By the way, appreciated that the province reached out to get some feedback to just ensure that a change like this would not completely upset the apple cart. The good news is that 9 out of 10 businesses that we surveyed said that they would be able to absorb that increase or pass it on to customers. It's 35 cents. It's not huge. And frankly, if it makes all the difference in the world to employees who are facing their own affordability challenges, I think generally speaking, businesses thought that was okay.
All right. Jason Abig, CEO of the Saskatoon Chamber of Commerce, thank you so much for a few minutes this morning.
Thank you.
It's September 29th, and we have these belated milestones to share with you. Blaine celebrated his birthday on Sunday. We hope it was a great day with many great years ahead. This shout out coming from your friends and family. Also marking another trip around the sun over the weekend was Miranda. Happy birthday to you with lots of love from Mervyn and Joanne. And yesterday was the 14th wedding anniversary of Shane and Marla. Congratulations, you two. Your whole family is sending you so much love. And we got this photo in our inbox from Joyce, who wanted to wish her sister a very happy birthday. She didn't tell us the name for the birthday girl, though. So regardless, we hope you had a wonderful day and you were showered with love. If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. But make sure you please send those in at least one day in advance.
Hi, Brandon. What's happening on the radio today?
Dude, so much. I just want to say one thing. The moves on the dance floor at Chase's wedding over the weekend, I've never seen anyone dance like that before, and I'll never again. The memories of a lifetime. Yeah. You're a good dancer. I just want to say that.
Chase is
like a ballet dancer out there.
Okay, what's going on?
No, I'm talking about you. You dance great. Hey, money time. This is our last week of chances to win some money. Right now, we're sitting around $800. $800, yeah, unreal. With the money montage, we're stuck on 1 out of the 3 artist and song titles. So maybe you can crack the code at least on 1 more and get more money to the pot and win. Your chances come up at 7, 9, 3, and 6. Again, last week to win lots of money. Big money montage or Marlin Travel Regina. So let's get you some money. And I'm just going to be back here thinking of Daryl's dance moves. God, you are great. Magical.
You don't roll cards, it's dice.
Dad, what is wrong with you?
Warner Brothers' new thriller comedy, One Battle After Another, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, topped the weekend box office with an estimated $22.4 million domestically and another $26 million overseas, marking the largest opening for an Anderson film. But it still has a long way to go to recoup the $130 million it took to make the movie.
Buckle up, Gabby Cats, it's time to go.
Taking the #2 spot this weekend, the kid-friendly Gabby's Dollhouse, based on a popular Netflix series, earned an estimated $13 million. Only Murders in the Building star Selena Gomez got hitched over the weekend to record producer and songwriter Benny Blanco. Gomez, who began her career as a Disney Channel star, is now the most followed woman on Instagram, where the couple shared their wedding photos. And happy birthday, Halsey, the singer-songwriter, is turning 31. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News.
Monday Sidebar is helping us expand our vocabulary.
Burnt out. I'm completely drained. I feel entirely depleted. I've reached the point of complete exhaustion. I've been worked.
Everyone works hard, and now you know different ways to say you are burned out.
So instead of coming in here and saying,
Excellent.
I'm so tired this morning, I can say I have reached a point of depletion.
I find myself lamentably incapable by fatigue.
Okay.
There you go.
I love it.
There you go. If that's what you needed today to start your day, then you got it. Fill up your coffee, which is also the code word to our contest. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We're back right after this. It's Monday, September 29th. Tomorrow, people across the country will be marking National Day for Truth and Reconciliation.
They kept delaying. So we sat in the plane for an hour, but we got through customs pretty good.
Airports across Canada are back to normal after a passport kiosk outage delayed some travelers for hours.
I'm very thankful every day that to have known Wendell.
And what's in a name? Why a Prince Albert Field has a new moniker. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. My name is Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen Sawatsky. We hope your day is off to a great start.
Yeah, we're looking for emojis that describe people's days.
Yeah, and we have a lot of coffee emojis in our inbox right now.
Emojis. We got a contest, so coffee might be an important part of that. We'll get to your news update, back to weather in just a moment. A fresh wave of U.S. tariffs are expected to take effect this week, targeting pharmaceuticals, kitchen cabinets, and large commercial trucks. But it's not clear yet how that will be felt here in Canada.
Trucks could be fire trucks, could be buses. And so we'll get a sense of whether this affects Ontario or Manitoba and Ontario or Manitoba, Ontario, and Quebec.
The U.S. president says starting Wednesday, medium and heavy-duty trucks will be facing 25% tariffs. According to the federal government, Canada exports more than $3 billion of medium and heavy-duty trucks to the United States. But it all depends on what exactly is tariffed to know where it will be felt most across Canada. Import tariffs of 100% will be put on pharmaceutical drugs starting October 1st. A 50% tariff will also be slapped on kitchen cabinets and bathroom vanities, of all things, starting Wednesday. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu set to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump in Washington this morning as pressure mounts to end the war in Gaza. The meeting comes as Trump is hinting at diplomatic breakthroughs.
President Trump does what he does because he decides what's in America's best interest. And I've said this often, I don't decide a thing for President Trump.
After nearly 2 years of failed diplomatic efforts, Washington presented a 21-point plan to Arab and Muslim states last week that calls for a permanent ceasefire and release of remaining hostages. Trump last night posting, "There's a real chance for greatness in the Middle East, and all are on board for something special," end quote. Earlier this morning, Israeli tanks moved closer to the heart of Gaza City, pressing a ground offensive forward. Now, the tanks advanced within a few hundred meters of the Gaza City main Al-Shifa hospital, where doctors say hundreds of patients are still being treated despite Israeli orders to leave. Israel has said it will not halt fighting unless Hamas frees all hostages and permanently surrenders its weapons. The Canada Border Services Agency is warning air travelers to expect more delays today as it resumes normal operations after a outage at a primary inspection kiosk at several major Canadian airports. The outage affected e-gates, which are used to confirm travelers' identities. That led to some lengthy delays at Toronto's Pearson Airport and in Calgary and Montreal.
We sat in the plane for an hour, but we got through customs pretty good.
It was pretty full, pretty crowded, not very well organized today until you kind of got by the machines, but after that it was okay.
CBSA says the outage was caused by unforeseen technical issues during routine maintenance. The system is back up and running, but the agency is warning travelers to expect more delays today. Saskatoon police investigating the city's 8th homicide of 2025. Jeremy Dodge is with us this morning. What do we know so far?
Not a whole lot, Daryl. The details are scarce, but police say about 3:30 a.m. yesterday, a man was brought into St. Paul's Hospital with serious injuries, and he was later pronounced dead. The Saskatoon Major Crimes section is investigating. Now, a person was rescued late Saturday night from the South Saskatchewan River near the Circle Drive Bridge. Emergency crews responded to reports of a person in the water just before 11:30 at night. Saskatoon Fire Department Water Rescue Team, Saskatoon Police, and Medavie Health Services dispatched to the scene. A rescue boat was launched, and they successfully lifted an injured individual into the boat. The patient was given initial medical care, went on shore, and was taken to hospital by ambulance. The extent of the injuries are unknown, and police are investigating. Now, flags at some City of Saskatoon facilities were lowered to half-mast Sunday in recognition of Police and Peace Officers National Memorial Day. It's annually observed on the last Sunday in September. The observance honors the dedication, service, and sacrifice of officers who work to keep Canadians safe while paying tribute to those who have lost their lives in the line of duty. The symbol of lowering the flag meant to serve as a solemn reminder of the risks taken every day by police and peace officers. Police and Peace Officers National Memorial Day was first officially proclaimed in 1998. All right, Daryl, back to you with more news.
Thank you, Jeremy. Police officers marched down Albert Street in Regina to the Legislative Building, paying respect to officers who have fallen. Over 900 peace officers across Canada have fallen, including 65 in Saskatchewan. Wreaths were laid by MPs, the Lieutenant Governor, amongst others, in honor of officers who have passed.
It's very important. I mean, think of in terms of Remembrance Day. This is the Remembrance Day in specifics to our, I guess, the officers of Canada.
The event was part of a larger memorial service held in Ottawa on Parliament Hill. Police have identified the main suspect in the killing at least 4 people in a mass shooting in a central Michigan church.
That suspect is a 40-year-old male from the city of Parton, who we identified as Thomas Jacob Sanford.
On Sunday morning, a man crashed his vehicle through the front doors of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc Township, about an hour northwest of Detroit, and opened fire. He then set fire to the church before he was killed in a shootout with police. 8 other people have been hospitalized, but officials say some church members remain unaccounted for. The suspect was a 40-year-old former U.S. Marine from a nearby town. So far, police have not found a motive for the shooting. Voting will wrap up today in Alberta for teachers in the latest contract offer from the province. It comes 1 week before a province-wide strike deadline. Teachers have until 5 p.m. tonight local time to vote on a tentative agreement. It would see teachers receive a 12% pay hike over 4 years, and the province hire 3,000 more teachers to address class sizes. The union has said if the deal is voted down, 51,000 teachers would likely walk off the job October 6th, disrupting classes for some 700,000 students. The Teachers Association in Alberta expected to announce the results tonight. Oregon's governor is hitting back at the U.S. president after he ordered National Guard members to his city.
There is no insurrection. There is no threat to national security, and there is no need for military troops in our major city.
Make that her city. In response to Trump, Oregon has responded by suing the administration, arguing the deployment of the National Guard is unlawful. At least 200 National Guard members will be sent to Portland to protect federal property where protests are occurring or likely to occur. That's according to the U.S. Secretary of Defense. On Saturday, Trump said he's authorized the use of full force if needed to suppress protests targeting immigration detention centers. The Toronto Blue Jays have secured their first American League title, thanks in large part to the stand-up hitting of Alejandro Kirk.
2-2 again. And a drive to deep left field. Gone!
Kirk picked the perfect time to hit his first grand slam of his career. The Jays down the Rays 13-4 to clinch the AL East title, and the Jays fans wasted no time getting down to celebrating. This was the scene inside the clubhouse as the team celebrated the first title since 2015. Outside, fans also celebrating in a spectacular way. Speaking of spectacular, let's get to a photo taken by Ryan Budd to lead off our weather forecast. There he is, harvesting out in the field. The hard work of our farmers and ranchers, producers. Thank you to all of you for what you do, Kayleen.
And I do have to say that this is only 1 out of 2 spectacular harvest pictures that came into our inbox from Ryan and his wife, Sandra. We're going to be sharing the other one later on in the show, and it's worth the wait, trust me. Let's get on over to this weather forecast. Starting the day at 8 degrees in Regina, and this is the first time that we're checking in the weather center this morning where the sun is fully up in both cities. We know that sunrise is getting later and later as we continue on into fall. We also see those seasonal averages start to go down, but all the highs across the province going to be above that seasonal average today by quite a bit. 8 degrees in Saskatoon to start the day. We are seeing just a little bit of cloud cover, and we're going to continue on seeing that in Saskatoon later on this afternoon, but really not a whole lot on the futurecast today other than that light amount of cloud cover into the afternoon. Continuing on into tomorrow afternoon, again, we're not seeing a whole lot on this futurecast other than that cloud cover, but you do see that system in Alberta making some rainfall there. That's going to be making its way into Saskatchewan late tomorrow into the evening hours, continuing on into those overnight hours and into Wednesday morning, but mainly focusing way up north. Now, for your afternoon today, what you will notice is that we have those wind gusts increased today. So all those areas lighting up in yellow could be seeing those wind gusts up to about 50 kilometers per hour, and the surrounding areas lit up in blue could be seeing them up to about 30 kilometers per hour. Current temperature is now showing that Hudson Bay is still in those minus temperatures to start the day. -2 there, 8 degrees over in Spiritwood, 22 degrees in Moose Jaw, 10 degrees to start the day in Swift Current, and 8 degrees in Assiniboia later on this afternoon. Many places, as you can see, seeing highs ranging from the low 20s to the mid to high 20s. There are 26 degrees expected for Swift Current, but again, we're going to be seeing those winds making it feel slightly cooler than that. 25 degrees with that sunshine in Weyburn, 22 degrees expected in Yorkton, and 23 with that mix of sun and cloud in Prince Albert. Now, your 7-day forecast showing that we're seeing a lot of temperatures in the high 20, or rather into the 20s this week, but then dropping off for your Saturday and Sunday. So 25 degrees today in Regina, 30 degrees tomorrow. So it is going to be a hot one tomorrow. 26 degrees on Wednesday. We see that increased amount of cloud cover moving in. 22 on Thursday, 20 degrees on Friday. And then for your weekend, if you're wanting to hit up a pumpkin patch or a corn maze this weekend, well, we're going to be seeing those temperatures going down. 19 degrees on Saturday and then 11 degrees on Sunday. In Saskatoon, 24 degrees today, 28 degrees tomorrow, 23 on Wednesday, 21 on Thursday, dropping down to 19 degrees on Friday, 17 on Saturday, and a little bit of rain on the way for Sunday as we reach that high of 11 degrees.
Ahead on your morning, another MP throws their hat in the ring for the federal NDP leadership race. We got your morning mystery in about 5 minutes. I'm still undefeated. Those two have got one wrong. At about 7:40 on CTV Regina and Yorkton, what to expect from the Moose Jaw Warriors in the WHL season ahead. And on CTV Saskatoon and Prince Albert, Jeremy is going to speak with the Executive Director of Prairie Harm Reduction. That's all ahead on your morning as we take a look over the city of Bridges. We are back in 2 minutes.
Beautiful temperatures and a whole lot of sunshine expected in our rural forecast today. However, we are talking about those winds increasing up to about 50 kilometers per hour in many places. Watchers up to 24 degrees today. Wynyard with that sunshine up to 22 degrees. East End Cypress enjoying a very pleasant afternoon high of 25 degrees today. Pilot Butte up to 24 and Carlisle up to 22 degrees with that sunshine. Now let's take a look at Delisle, where internet plans up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. The high today 25 degrees. You can expect that at about 3 p.m. today with that sunshine all afternoon long. But Delisle is included in those places, seeing those winds stronger today up to about 50 kilometers per hour.
All right, let's go back out now on the go to Mike Siona, who is getting ready for Truth and Reconciliation Day with a look at where we've come over the last decade. Mike.
Well, we are down here with Dr. Kathy Walker, the treaty commissioner herself, and we are talking all about the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation, which is tomorrow here in Canada. Hard to believe it's been 10 years since that list of 94 calls to action came out. Where have we come in the last decade?
Well, I think that it depends on who you talk to in terms of how far along we are, because there's different interpretations of where we're at with the 94 calls to action. But there's no organization that I'm aware of that says that we've met all the 94 calls to action. So we definitely still have a way to go. Here in Saskatchewan, one of the the calls to action that we take seriously or really are working on, obviously, are the ones concerning treaty. And a big part of that is treaty education. And in some respects, Saskatchewan was ahead in that we did have a provincial mandate to teach treaties in the classroom in 2008. But I think that we can still do better, reinvigorate treaty education and history here in Saskatchewan.
No doubt. And obviously, I would think that it's not like we're just checking the boxes and then we put it away, we're done, right? This is something that needs to be revisited and like a continual working document.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, truth and reconciliation are a process. The TRC itself described reconciliation as repairing what must be repaired, restoring what must be restored, and returning what must be returned. And so, you know, it's an ongoing process. So definitely.
No doubt about it. We've had a decade to get started. When we come back a little later this morning, we'll talk about some of the next steps that maybe even you can do to move us along moving forward.
Well, the Terminator took up the baton this week at Oktoberfest in Munich.
Oh.
Last week we talked about that woman who takes a week off her job and goes to Munich to serve beer. This time it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, spontaneously conducting a live band and singing with the crowd at a beer tent on Friday night at the festival. The movie star and former governor of California has reportedly attended the festival several times in the past. This year accompanied by his partner Heather Miller, the son of Christopher Miller.
I like that he's accomplished so much in his life that now he's like, I'm going to take a few side quests.
You know what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
I'm just going to go, and here's what I'm going to do. Just be everywhere and do all of the things. So, there you go.
I want to be there.
There you go. You can conduct the choir, too. Question of the day is where we go to next.
Yeah, so this is a fun one to start our work week. We're asking you to describe your Monday morning to us using only emojis. And, of course, we have a whole lot of coffee on the screen. Brenda with a very large coffee cup, and I almost had to laugh. If you squint really hard, down in that corner by the coffee cup, there was also a dog and a television.
Okay.
But the coffee cup came in really big.
Coffee came in hot.
So huge.
I think that is beautiful. Marcella also sending us some coffee cups to start the day. Michelle's sending a coffee cup, but looking a little more tired with it to start the day.
No doubt about it.
We had this one come in with a baby crying, teddy bears, and coffee. And whoever you are, we didn't get a name. I am sending you my love this morning because as somebody with a child at home, I'm sorry.
Feel all parts of that.
Yeah, Lauren giving us a slightly half slanted down sad face. So I feel like there's room for improvement there, but also
upside down.
It's not fully down, right? It's only half down. Stephanie saying that she's sick. We got the blowing nose emoji.
No. We've all been there.
Yeah, we feel for you, Stephanie.
Oh,
yeah. We had this one coming in on the right hand of the screen there from Rebecca with the kind of winking and then the melting emoji, which, I mean, everyone interprets in their own way. Me personally, I just think it's like, it's fine. Everything's fine. We're all fine.
It's going to be fine.
It's going to be fine. It's a Monday, but we're fine. So text us to 10400. Standard message rates may apply. Tell us, how's your Monday morning shaping up? But tell us in emojis.
Even if her store in St. John's is closed, Sunday is still a working day for Dia Dreve.
I mean, we're always here looking at our stock and seeing what we should be promoting for the upcoming week.
Today, those questions are a bit tougher because a big, lucrative arrival is stuck in the mail.
And it's about $20,000 in sales that we would be benefiting from over the next couple of months. And it will get here eventually. It's just that nobody knows, and it's just a big, uncertain situation.
Strike action brought by CUPW, the union representing Canada Post workers, has brought thousands of shipments across the country to an immediate halt, and a new round of headaches to small businesses who rely on Canada Post's services.
To use those other courier companies, I would have to drive in excess of 2 hours to drop those parcels off.
In the rural Newfoundland town of Triton, where Lisa Chatsakiru has set up her fabric business, Canada Post is the only game in town. During last year's labor dispute, she lost about $7,000 worth of sales. She says it's not clear if she could weather a storm like that again.
We're really going to take a hit because it affects me as a small business, hiring local community members, students in rural Newfoundland.
Tonight, it's back to the drawing board to come up with some creative solutions to this newest challenge.
We're going to try and promote some of the products in unique ways and perhaps have some sales that will hopefully drum up the business.
But with no updates from Canada Post or its workers today, the prospect of a long-term work stoppage remains a frightening one, leaving the future of businesses like this shrouded in uncertainty. Garrett Berry, CTV News, St. John's.
Good morning. I'm Jermaine Franklin in the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Sunday. And as he's done all season, the top tennis player in the world, Carlos Alcaraz, gave us another jaw-dropping play. He was facing Brandon Nakashima in Tokyo. He gets drawn into the net. The first shot is good, but the second one, unreal. He won the match to improve to 64-6 this season. He's off to the semifinal and continues his quest for his 8th title of the year. He truly is the definition of must-see TV. And you can see more tennis right now on TSN2. The women are in Beijing. On top of that, tonight we have a Monday Night Football doubleheader on TSN. The Jets face the Dolphins and the Broncos host the Bengals. That's it from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
Time for your Monday morning mystery. You know how this works. We've got our whiteboards. We're going to get 3 clues, and we're going to see how we do. Today, it is a thing. It is a fruit, is clue number 1. Okay. Around the year 1600, Pope Clement VIII blessed the beverage. And clue number 3.
Okay.
Light roasts have more caffeine than dark. Okay, well, I was
oh, come on.
Yeah, that's clue number 3, really. Okay, write down your answers.
Is this a fruit? Is this necessary?
I guess.
Okay.
I guess we learned that this morning, yeah.
If nothing else, we learned that it is coffee. We scroll down the chapter just a little bit to say that it is coffee, blessed by Pope Clement VIII, and it is National Coffee Day.
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
All right, MacGyver, think. Rope. A smoke alarm. Sheets of plywood.
40 years ago this week, the TV series MacGyver made its debut. It starred Richard Dean Anderson as a secret agent who could make anything out of anything to solve a problem.
Come down from there.
You bet.
The show was a huge hit, but its biggest success was in coining the term to MacGyver, a verb meaning to make, form, or repair something with what is conveniently on hand. The term was added to the Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary in 2022.
Cut yourself a little elbow room. Hey, I want that knife back, you know.
We're taking a look at your school day forecast now, brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zones safe. If you're heading out to the bus in Regina and Saskatoon, we're currently sitting at 8 degrees to start the day. We could be seeing some gusts later this morning, up to about 35 kilometers per hour, increasing by lunchtime in both cities up to about 50 kilometers per hour. So it is going to be a windy day, but the actual temperatures are still going to be really nice. 19 degrees at lunch in Saskatoon, 20 degrees at lunch in Regina, and then by final bell in both cities, sitting at those expected daytime highs of 24 for Regina and 25 for Regina, 24 for Saskatoon. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices in Regina. The most common cost to fill up is $135.9, but you can find regular fuel for as low as $114.9. In Saskatoon, the common cost to fill up also $135.9 this morning, but the lowest you might find $122.9. Taking a look at the farm markets, the street price of canola at $553.02 per ton, and the futures price at $611.70 per ton. Amber durum wheat at $274.93 per ton this morning, and red spring wheat sitting at $233.74 per ton. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading at 71.73 cents US. After the break, the federal NDP leadership race heats up with a new MP declaring their bid. That story and more coming up.
Welcome back to Your Morning Saskatchewan. It is 7:30, and there is another candidate running for the federal leadership of the NDP.
My name is Heather McPherson, and I am running to be the next leader of Canada's New Democratic Party.
Heather McPherson has represented the Edmonton-Strathcona riding since 2019. She's the only NDP MP in Alberta. During her campaign launch, she promised to make the NDP a viable choice for voters again by bringing people together. McPherson and Avi Lewis are the two main candidates so far. The man suspected in the fatal shooting of American conservative activist Charlie Kirk is due to appear in court in Utah today. Tyler Robinson is accused of firing a single deadly rifle shot from a rooftop at Utah Valley University earlier this month. Robinson is expected to appear virtually for today's procedural hearing. The 22-year-old has been jailed without bond on charges of aggravated murder and other criminal charges. Prosecutors say they will seek the death penalty for Robinson if he is convicted. The shooting has further fanned the flames in an already deeply polarized political landscape, with President Trump blaming what he calls the radical left for political violence. Some major storms causing havoc south of the border. At least 4 people are dead following flooding in Arizona, and the East Coast is bracing for a tropical storm. Whit Johnson reports.
Oh my God!
This morning, search and rescue efforts underway in Arizona after these devastating flash floods left at least 3 people dead. On Friday, waters sweeping through the city of Globe.
Yeah, look at that car, it's floating, right?
The fast-moving floods submerging cars and washing away more than 1,000 fuel tanks from a distribution facility. Authorities now warning they could explode. Entire businesses wiped out. Paul Kempton says he's lost everything.
It's about 3 inches full of mud and water about halfway up the wall, and all the equipment has been underwater. So it looks like a complete loss.
This as the U.S. braces for impacts from Tropical Storm Imelda hammering the Bahamas overnight. Now states of emergency declared in the Carolinas.
Pray and hope for the best and prepare for the worst. We know that we're going to have high winds. We know that we're going to have a lot of water.
Coastal cities facing potential flash flood threats. Rough surf already impacting beaches in Florida.
And here in South Carolina, the governor says he does not anticipate any mandatory evacuation orders, but officials are still warning of heavy rain, potential flooding, and dangerous rip currents. Whit Johnson, ABC News, Charleston, South Carolina.
The Battle of the Badges brought police and firefighters onto the ice for charity this weekend at Merlis Belcher Place. This is in Saskatoon. About 1,000 people packing the stands for the inaugural Battle of the Badges, which pitted local police and fire against each other. The matchup between the two decorated first responder units saw a lot of penalties on the ice. Fans were treated to a pretty good matchup, and it raised money for cancer research.
I was at the ticket booth checking everyone in, selling tickets at the front, and I asked everyone who they're with or who they're cheering for, and it was honestly a pretty good split. We didn't have a fire side or a police side. Everyone's kind of mingled, so that's how it goes. We'll see if it works out for everyone. But
the final score, by the way, police 5, firefighters 2, and they're looking forward to the rematch. The Wendell Whitner Field has officially been named in memory of a former PA football coach.
On Saturday, a group of more than 40 people gathered on a football field in East Prince Albert in recognition of a coach who helped PA minor football become what it is today. Until his passing in 2018, Wendell Whitner coached the Pee Wee Prince Albert River Riders. He began coaching when the first team started in 2008.
I'm very thankful every day that to have known Wendell and for him to have the influence on my life and on, as we've said, countless players and families' lives through his involvement in our sport.
On Saturday, the field was officially renamed in his honor as the Wendell Whitner Field.
He was a very humble man. He probably would have, shied away from it or turned it down, not thinking that it was warranted or deserved or earned. But there would be a great sense of pride. He may not show it, but definitely would be proud of what happened here today.
PA minor football president Taras Kichkowski said Whitner was responsible for creating the city's indoor flag football program, among other community contributions. Kichkowski says he was also a pastor at his church.
Naming this field after Wendell is so fitting. Wendell probably spent more time on this field over a 10-year span than any other person. He was first here, the last to leave, and always showed up for his coaches, players, and his parents.
The field is located at 998 Branyan Drive. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
Country music icon Dolly Parton is postponing her upcoming Las Vegas residency by 9 months as she undergoes and recovers from a few procedures to deal with lingering health challenges. 79-year-old told fans through social media that she wouldn't have had enough time to get ready before her show, before the residency opened at the Coliseum at Caesars Palace in December. Now, Parton didn't disclose the nature of her health issues, but she recently pulled out of an event after being diagnosed with a kidney stone that caused her a lot of problems. Original tickets will be valid for the new September dates, and refunds are available. Puerto Rican pop star Bad Bunny will headline this year's Super Bowl halftime show. A portion of the population saying, bad who? What? Who is that? The singer has topped Spotify's most streamed artist list in 3 of the past 5 years. He will squeeze his hits into less than 15 minutes on American television. It's the most watched night in February. The announcement coming after Bad Bunny recently said in an interview that he's avoiding the U.S. on his current world tour because of concerns that ICE agents might conduct raids on fans at his concerts. We have a little more than a month of daylight saving time left if we observe it. If you're watching from BC, I know a lot of you are. You moved from Saskatchewan out there. Clocks will fall back this year on November 2nd. Most of the country will gain an hour of sleep. The days will start feeling a little shorter. There are still calls on both sides of the border to make daylight savings time permanent, but I guess at this point we'll believe it when we see it. This will spur an email from our good friend Al, who says, days don't get longer or shorter. That's just science, blah, blah, blah. I'll delete your email. Picture taken by Ryan Budd this morning, showing off the beautiful skies.
Yes, a beautiful photo. This is part 2 out of 2 that came into our inbox from Ryan and his wife, Sandra. Some beautiful shots there.
Yeah, and so, of course, Saskatchewan doesn't observe daylight savings time, so we're just enjoying driving to the show in the dark in the morning.
And while all hours may have 24 hours, it certainly is feeling like those days are getting shorter because that sun wasn't fully up in the sky until about 7 a.m. this morning for Regina and Saskatoon. We're seeing that sun set a lot earlier in the evenings, which, hey, those of us with children can appreciate. Makes it feel more like bedtime. Futurecast, though, showing not a whole lot this afternoon all across Saskatchewan, just seeing some light levels of cloud cover. And then into those overnight hours, we start to see it increasing just a little bit. So a few more clouds on the way for some parts of Saskatchewan tomorrow. And then in the evening hours tomorrow, that's when we see some more of that rain entering the province from Alberta into those overnight hours and continuing on into Wednesday morning. But by Wednesday morning, we're primarily just going to be seeing that system impacting the north. Today's wind gusts showing that we could be seeing them up to about 50 kilometers per hour in all those areas, lighting up in yellow on your screen. Those areas on the outside of that, just going to be seeing those up to about 30 kilometers per hour in those blue zones. Current temperatures now showing that Hudson Bay has just been stuck this morning at that -2 degree mark. Melfort up to 4 degrees now, though. Nipawin at 1 degree. Southend at 0 degrees to start the day. Warmer through Swift Current this morning, and Kindersley, both of those areas sitting at about 10 degrees to start the day. Weyburn just dropped down to about 3 degrees, so the temperatures are fluctuating just a little bit. 8 degrees in Estevan, but later on this afternoon, we're seeing some really nice temperatures. Just keep in mind that it is going to feel a little bit cooler than these temperatures are showing because of those wind gusts today. 25 degrees expected for Moose Jaw, 25 for Weyburn as well, and 24 for Estevan. Just a couple degrees below that this afternoon in Yorkton, up to about 22 degrees with that sunshine. 25 expected for Regina today, and then tomorrow is going to be the hottest day of the week. 30 degrees again for Regina, and keep in mind that that is double what the seasonal average is this time of year. That's 15 degrees. So enjoy tomorrow, dropping down to 26 degrees on Wednesday, 22 on Thursday, and 20 degrees on Friday. In Saskatoon, 24 degrees will be the high today. We are seeing just a little bit more of that cloud cover in Saskatoon compared to Regina. 28 degrees tomorrow, so not cracking into those 30-degree temperatures there, but still a very warm day compared to what we typically see this time of year. Temperatures going to be remaining nice until the weekend when we see those drop down to the high teens. Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is coffee. Head to the contest page on our website or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter that code word along with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan's $20,000 giveaway.
James Gallo is with us. He is with the Moose Jaw Warriors, the unbeaten Moose Jaw Warriors. How does it feel to hear that, James Gallo?
It feels nice, but come on, Daryl. We're only 3 games into the season, so but I guess we'll take it if we can.
You got to absolutely take it. You're coming off a 6-1 win over the Swift Current Broncos. Got to like winning in that rivalry. What's the team look like this year so far?
You know what? I mean, overall, the team very similar to what it was last year. A lot of returning bodies, a lot of the same faces, a lot of the same names. I just think a year older, a year more mature. And, you know, coming into training camp this year, I thought the guys really focused and really determined. Last year, not going the way that they would have wanted, way they felt it should have went. But they came back and you know, you just see the look in their eyes and says, you know, they're ready to go. And I think they proved it 3 games into this regular season.
Got Lyndon Lakovic back. That can't hurt either.
Yeah, Lack's not a bad player, right? He's pretty good. 2 goals in his season debut on Saturday. He just brings a little bit extra. Hey, I mean, he's got a personality that everybody just gravitates to. You know, I think he's the heart of this team. And, you know, getting him back, not just on the ice, but in the room and in our community, it just gives you a little bit more. He's got a smile that lights up a room and lights up a community, and he's truly welcome back after his first camp with the Washington Capitals.
Also got to feel pretty good. You beat Swift Current, you beat Regina in those first 2 of those first 3.
Yeah, I mean, it was, you know, I think a little surprising the way things went against the Brandon Wheat Kings in opening weekend. But I think that's a testament to the boys and how focused they were, especially in game 2 when they were down 6-3, 30 seconds into the 3rd period and ended up scoring 6 goals in that final frame. You know, gave up the first goal on Saturday and just kept focused and pedaled to the metal. And, you know, talking to Jason Ripplinger, our general manager, and talking to head coach Marco O'Leary, they feel depth is their biggest strength. And we've seen that so far this season. Look at, you know, Saturday night against Swift Current, 6 goals from 5 different players, and it's 5 different age groups. It's guys all over the lineup. They're contributing. Head coach Marco O'Leary has told me on repeated occasions it is a group effort. He wants to roll 4 lines as much as he possibly can, and we've seen that through 3 games right now.
Got 30 seconds left. We know in Regina we talk about Liam Pugh and Maddox Schultz. Who should we be talking about when we talk about the Moose Jaw Warriors?
If you're talking that age group, let's start with Colt Carter, right? I mean, this young defenseman who came over the Braden Yager trade from the Lethbridge Hurricanes, 3 goals, 6 points in 3 games so far this season. Daryl, go look at the highlights of the goal he scored on Saturday. Could be goal of the year candidate. He is an electrifying young defenseman to watch. So if you're thinking that young age category, Colt Carter, number 8. He's the guy.
That's the one. James Gallo, who's in the autograph picture up behind you above your right-hand shoulder?
I've got Braden Point right there and Morgan Riley right there.
Oh, a couple good players. I think a couple people might have heard of them. Thanks, James.
No, they're not bad. They're not
Appreciate
bad.
your
Thanks,
time.
Daryl.
James Gallo with the Moose Jaw Warriors. Full schedule at mjwarriors.com. Let's continue on. The Regina rugby star who is bringing home a silver medal from the Rugby World Cup. Gabrielle Sant was part of the group that captured silver in a 33-13 loss to England on Saturday. Friends and family gathering at District Brewing to watch. They're hoping this gives the entire sport a boost.
Well, I think this is a real opportunity. When you come into kind of press coverage, rugby's been getting through the women, it's an opportunity for us to leverage that popularity to get young people, young girls and boys to come play the game. We've been on media. They can see it's exciting, playing in front of 82,000 fans, playing in the Olympics. You know, so there's a lot of things about the game that hopefully, you know, this success will translate into more people joining the game in Canada.
Here's
here's what's happening in our community. A fall supper happening Friday, October 3rd at 5 p.m. at the Heritage United Church. That's 1050 North Arneson Street, 306-543-2626 for more. Weyburn's Old Time Dance Club is hosting a party on Friday, October 3rd at 8 p.m. It's in the Banquet Hall on 4th Street in Weyburn. Call 306-861-9929 for more. Take-home turkey supper is happening Saturday, October 4th at Lakeview United Church, 3200 McCallum Avenue. Tickets must be bought in advance by calling 306-585-0404. If you'd like your event shown here, email us, reginacommunity@bellmedia.ca, but do so at least 2 weeks in advance.
It's September 29th, and we have these belated milestones to share with you. Blaine celebrated his birthday on Sunday. We hope it was a great day with many great years ahead. This shout out coming from your friends and family. Also marking another trip around the sun over the weekend was Miranda. Happy birthday to you with lots of love from Mervyn and Joanne. And yesterday was the 14th wedding anniversary of Shane and Marla. Congratulations, you two. Your whole family is sending you so much love. And we got this photo in our inbox from Joyce, who wanted to wish her sister a very happy birthday. She didn't tell us the name for the birthday girl, though. So regardless, we hope you had a wonderful day and you were showered with love. If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. But make sure you please send those in at least 1 day in advance.
When are you hitting the old dusty trail to a fabulous beach destination?
We out on Friday, my man. We are going to the South Coast Jamaica Sandals Resort. Yeah, I'm going to be on location all week next week on the beach, trying to get you there with me. So starting Friday and then on Monday through Friday, we're giving away passport keywords starting from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. When you get the code words, you plug them back into our website, and you're coming with me again. All-inclusive trip, Sandals, South Coast. The Sandals are, it's beautiful. You can go check it out on our website right now. I'm just telling you now, we're starting it on Friday. I'll be in Jamaica Monday, and we're going to try to get you there. So come with me, glasses included. Again, all the details, Pure Country Passport at purecountry927.ca.
Flawed woman is now the president, and only we know just how flawed.
Flawed or not, Allison Janney is back for season 3 of The Diplomat and Beyond. Netflix says Janney and her old West Wing pal Bradley Whitford will go from guest stars to series regulars in season 4, which begins production this fall. Netflix also announced Haunted Hotel will return for a second spooky season.
Billy owner caught her vandalizing his property.
Ava, it's one of your dad's murals.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Tuesday's High Potential has Ava in trouble, and actress Amira J says that's just a taste of what's ahead for her character.
Ava kind of starts poking her nose where it doesn't belong and trying to be a detective in a way and try to figure things out herself and kind of go behind her mom's back a little bit, which doesn't make her mom very happy.
The Pokemon Company has released a limited edition pack for the Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket app. Deluxe Pack EX is available now through October 29th, with each pack guaranteed to include a card of 4 diamond rarity or higher. The app is available for Android and iOS devices. Catching them all in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
For your sidebar, here's a family showing us that dancing really is a team sport.
Okay, come on.
Takes the whole fam to help this balloon man with his moves, from cookie sheets to plates. Everyone in the fam is fanning for fun.
It reminds me of Canadian Tire's running an ad right now with a wacky waving inflatable arm flailing.
And that's your favorite. I have a video of Daryl in the newsroom, I think 4 years ago, flailing around. It's still funny.
I do a really good too, man. As the saying goes, there's no better sound than a baby laughing. Laughter is infection. That's little Rome. Can't get enough of his mom.
Oh.
Hyperventilating.
He's going to need some oxygen.
We have to cling to these times, us with young children, because we really are the funniest people right now.
We just did Aria's first birthday party, gave her the first birthday cake, you know, where everybody's like, oh, they're going to smash the cake, they're going to get into the... She was like, I'll take this blueberry on top and a little bit of this icing, and I'm good now.
Yeah.
Fill that coffee up. We're back in a minute.
The same.
It is Monday, September 29th.
We're coming for you! Yeah! Let's go,
Terrifying. The Jays and their fans flying high as they head into the playoffs as American League champs.
They kept delaying. So we sat in the plane for an hour, but we got through customs pretty good.
Back in business, airports across Canada back to normal after a passport kiosk outage delayed some travelers. Pop star Bad Bunny now joins the list of superstars to headline the Super Bowl halftime show. More on that and other things. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. To Your Morning Saskatchewan, I'm Daryl Rummeld.
And I'm Kayleen Swatsky. We hope your day is off to a great start. Were you surprised by that Super Bowl halftime show announcement?
I was very surprised. I mean, it makes sense after you read the script and it says he's most streamed 3 of 5 years, but
yeah,
everybody thought it was Taylor Swift.
Oh, no, I was thinking Miley Cyrus was my guess.
Miley.
Yeah.
Everybody was analyzing that interview she did with the Kelsey brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Easter eggs in there.
Yeah, well.
It's going to be the halftime.
Maybe next year.
You got to pay to actually do the halftime show.
I know, yeah. Yeah, they do not get paid.
They make a lot of money afterwards. Let's get to news. The latest round of Trump's tariffs go into effect this week, targeting pharmaceuticals, kitchen cabinets of all things, and heavy trucks. It's yet another blow to the hard-hit auto industry so closely intertwined with the American economy. Here's Colton Prail.
For months, Donald Trump's tariffs have targeted what's inside trucks like these. But soon, it'll be the trucks themselves facing tariffs. The U.S. president says beginning Wednesday, medium and heavy-duty trucks will face 25% tariffs. But the White House has yet to specify what's impacted.
I don't know how it's going to affect our existing customers because we still have a couple trucks that deliver, and I'm not sure how those tariffs are going to affect it.
The federal government says Canada exports over $3 billion of medium and heavy-duty trucks to the United States. And what exactly is tariffed could change where the impacts are felt.
Trucks could be fire trucks, could be buses. And so we'll get a sense of whether this affects Ontario or Manitoba and Ontario or Manitoba, Ontario, and Quebec.
Edison Motors is a new truck manufacturer in British Columbia, which focuses on electric trucks. They say American interest has been high, even selling to the U.S. government. But the proposed new tariffs mean now they're looking elsewhere for buyers.
I would rather focus on the Canadian, Australia market. Until the U.S. has a little bit more stable government, I'm going to be a Canadian manufacturer.
Trump's new tariffs, like those on autos, steel, and aluminum, use national security legislation as their justification. Trade lawyers say that makes them harder to fight against.
Really what this all means is this is something we're probably going to have to negotiate with the Trump administration.
The federal government recently announced $6 billion in support funds for businesses impacted by tariffs. Asked if it will be extended to companies hit by Trump's new tariffs, officials were unavailable to comment.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu set to meet with the U.S. president in Washington this morning as pressure mounts to end the war in Gaza.
President Trump does what he does because he decides what's in America's best interest. And I've said this often, I don't decide a thing for President Trump.
After nearly 2 years of failed diplomatic efforts, Washington presented a 21-point plan to Arab and Muslim states last week that calls for a permanent ceasefire and the release of hostages. Trump last night posting, quote, "There's a real chance for greatness in the Middle East," and, quote, "all are on board for something special." Earlier this morning, Israeli tanks moved closer to the heart of Gaza, advancing within a few hundred meters of the city's hospital, where doctors say hundreds of patients are still being treated. Israel claims it will not halt the offensive unless Hamas frees all hostages and permanently surrenders its weapons. Closer to home, police in Saskatoon are investigating that city's 8th homicide of the year. Jeremy Dodge is standing by. What do we know so far, JD?
Daryl, we know very little. Details are scarce, but what police are saying is about 3:30 a.m. yesterday, a man was brought into St. Paul's Hospital with serious injuries and was later pronounced dead. The Saskatoon Major Crimes section is investigating, and we'll get more details to you as soon as we can. Now, a person was rescued late Saturday night from the South Saskatchewan River near the Circle Drive Bridge. Emergency crews responding to reports of a person in the water just before 11:30. The Saskatoon Fire Department Water Rescue Team, Saskatoon Police, and Medavie Health Services dispatched to the scene. A rescue boat was launched, and they successfully lifted an injured individual into the boat. Patient was given medical care when on shore and then was taken to hospital by ambulance. The extent of injuries not known. Police are investigating. And flags at some City of Saskatoon facilities lowered to half-mast on Sunday in recognition of Police and Peace Officers National Memorial Day. It's annually observed on the last Sunday in September. The observance honors the dedication, service, and sacrifice of officers who work to keep Canadians safe while paying tribute to those who've lost their lives in the line of duty. The symbol of lowering the flag meant to serve as a solemn reminder of the risks taken every day by police and peace officers. Police and Peace Officers National Memorial Day was first officially proclaimed in 1998. All right, Daryl, the update from Michigan now, where a tragedy has unfolded.
That's right, Jeremy. Police say the attacker drove his truck into the church in Grand Blanc, starting firing his weapon, and then set the church on fire.
The suspect is a 40-year-old male from the city of Parton, who we identified as Thomas Jacob Sanford.
At the time, there were hundreds of people inside for Sunday service. Investigators are searching the attacker's home and going through cell phone records as they try to figure out what the motive is here. This is the 324th mass shooting in the U.S. this year. According to the Gun Violence Archive, today is day 272 of 365, so that's a lot of gun violence. There's another candidate running for NDP leadership in this country.
My name is Heather McPherson, and I am running to be the next leader of Canada's New Democratic Party.
Heather McPherson has represented the riding of Edmonton Strathcona since 2019. She is the only NDP MP in Alberta. Now, during her campaign launch, she promised to make the NDP a viable choice for voters again by bringing people together. She and Avi Lewis are the two main candidates so far. Hudson's Bay Company is expected to appear at an Ontario court today to push for its royal charter to hit the auction block next month. The retailer wants permission to run a sales process for the document, which established the Bay in 1670. It also, if it gets the go-ahead, will give bidders the chance to place an offer by October 3rd. Ahead of an auction scheduled for the 15th. Anyone interested in the charter will have to bid at least $15 million and agree to permanently donate the charter to a Canadian public institution or museum. Indigenous athletes from across the prairies are stepping into the ring in Saskatoon, as Stacey Hine tells us, part of a boxing event that honors residential school survivors.
Preparing for an important match, one that means far more than winning. Saturday night's big fight, dubbed This Bout is for Truth, is meant to honor residential school survivors ahead of the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. Kyle Paposy is stepping into the ring to pay tribute to family impacted by the residential school system.
Makes me pretty proud because I get to represent my family.
After 7 years in the sport, Paposy says boxing has taught him both discipline and healing.
Just always trying your hardest, always believe in yourself, believe in what kind of achievements you can make no matter what's happened to you. Just keep training.
Paposy is one of several Indigenous boxers from across the prairies competing this weekend.
10 times faster.
Coach and event organizer Gary Kopis says the night also celebrates Indigenous culture with dancing and drumming.
A lot of celebration of the culture and boxing and bringing it all together to feature these athletes.
He says having elders in the crowd makes the night even more special.
It's really powerful to see them, smiling and have that opportunity for the future generations to be able to excel at life and just be part of everything that, these residential school survivors didn't get to be a part of.
Meanwhile, this boxer says he's ready to show off his skills and make his family proud.
Just showcasing my skills, everything I work for, just working hard, just doing everything to get the best outcome.
The event kicks off Saturday night at 5 p.m. at Prairieland Park. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
All right, the Toronto Blue Jays have secured their first American League East title, thanks in large part to some stand-up hitting by Alejandro Kirk.
2-2 again. And a drive to deep left field. Gone!
Kirk picked the perfect time to hit his first career Grand Slam. Jays beat the Tampa Bay Devil Rays 13-4 to clinch the AL East title. And Jays, their fans wasted no time celebrating that, of course. Let's get to your weather picture, and a picture from south of Markinch, Saskatchewan. Marvell sent this to us. I had to look it up. Markinch is to the, looks like the east of Southie on Highway 22. Population, Kayleen, 58. So to each and every one of you.
You know who was part of that was actually my husband, whose farm is technically in Markinch, but went to school
57.
Yeah, yeah, he's gone now. He's a Regina resident now. But hey, shout out to you if you're waking up in Markinch or that Q Part area there this morning. Now let's take a look at these current temperatures now. 10 degrees in Regina, so we have started to get up in terms of that warmth this morning. A few clouds sticking around for both Regina and Saskatoon to start the day, but we are expecting mainly sunny skies this afternoon. 9 degrees to wake us up in Saskatoon this morning. Now you're not really going to be noticing anything other than those winds today. The areas lighting up in yellow on your screen, we could be seeing gusts up to about 50 kilometers per hour. All those areas lit up in blue could be seeing them up to about 30-35 kilometers per hour. Now, I just mentioned that we're not going to be seeing all too much other than those winds, and you can really see that as we take a look at our future cast. It's pretty unremarkable today and into tomorrow. Just seeing tomorrow afternoon, the clouds increasing ever so slightly. We do see that system popping up over in Alberta, though. That's going to be tracking eastward, bringing some rain into Saskatchewan, likely during those evening hours tomorrow, and then into those overnight hours into Wednesday morning, but mainly concentrating far up north. Now, this is the first time that we're looking at these current temperatures this morning where Hudson Bay has now popped up into the positives, 1 degree. So it's not warm, but it's something compared to that -2 that we were stuck at for the past couple hours. Spiritwood, a lot warmer, 11 degrees to start the day. And Swift Current at 10 degrees, Moose Jaw at 5 degrees, Weyburn sitting at 8 degrees, and Estevan sitting at that 10-degree mark. Now, later on this afternoon, we're seeing temperatures well above that seasonal average. That's about 15 degrees for this time of year. 26 degrees expected in Swift Current, but that wind could be making it feel just a little bit cooler than that. Moose Jaw up to 25, Weyburn 24, and Yorkton up to 22 degrees today. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast where you can see your work week is looking very pleasant, but we are seeing temperatures going down on the weekend up to those high teens on Saturday and then down to the low teens on Sunday. In Saskatoon, again, seeing more of the same. So 24 degrees today, 28 degrees tomorrow, 23 for your day on Wednesday, 21 on Thursday, 19 degrees on Friday, 17 on Saturday, and then dropping down to 11 degrees on Sunday. But again, keep in mind that that is the day that we are expecting some of that precipitation to be making its way through the central zone.
Well, in case you missed it this morning, the beautiful fall colors aren't the only thing you might be starting to notice outside.
We see them every year, but not in that quantity. I mean, they're crawling up your leg. They're on my cell phone. They're everywhere.
There we go. Yeah, you may have seen more ladybugs than usual. That's Doug Wong. He's in Calgary. He says there's been more there this year than he's seen in the past 30 years. So why, you may be wondering? It's because of this recent streak of hot weather. Heat at this time of year makes plants stressed, and when they're stressed, there's a lack of water, and when they don't have much water, they reduce their photosynthesis activity, which Kayleen told us about last week. And then when they do that, plants attract insects. So here come the ladybugs. Bring them on.
They're all over my yard.
Yeah, a lot of ladybugs. I took Sadie to the park last week, and she put one in her mouth.
Oh.
We got it out. We got it out, everyone.
Protein.
Yeah, but she was looking at it and then just went, oh.
Yeah, might as well. Why not give it a go? Question of the day is describing your Monday morning to us using only emojis. And we got a lot of coffee cups, as you'd imagine.
Yeah, a lot of coffee cups, but Colleen sent us these 3 with the tractor. We know Colleen has been sending us a lot of videos on X and beautiful photos of harvest time. So we hope everything is going great there. You're going to need that coffee. Nathan sent in these ones. I responded and said, I'm not sure what's happening here with the clown face and the monkey face, and he responded saying,
an interesting morning.
He just said it's silliness. We're feeling silly.
That mess. Okay.
We have this one from Lori saying a lot of yawn emojis this morning. A little bit of shock at the end there. I wonder if that was because this morning was a little bit cooler, but things are starting to heat up out there, Lori. Donna saying a smiley face and some music and some love for her Monday morning. And Julius sending this one, an airplane. I wonder if he arrived home because the next one is the house. We got some bathing happening, traveling, going to work, but a big smile on your face. So a lot happening there. Heather saying yawns and some coffee cups this morning. Also the shock one. But again, those ones can be interpreted in many different ways. Melody saying some coffee, taking the pups out and that yawn. We have some more coffee with the newspaper, 3 kids off to school. And then Diane saying we're exercising, having some coffee, riding the bike, and of course, gotta yawn some more for our Monday morning. Thank you so much for describing your Monday to us through emojis this morning.
This morning, Dolly Parton is explaining her decision to delay her upcoming Las Vegas residency by more than 9 months, citing health challenges. In a post written with her trademark sense of humor, she says, "My doctors tell me that I must have a few procedures. As I joke with them, it must be time for my 100,000-mile checkup, although it's not the usual trip to see my plastic surgeon. In all seriousness, given this, I am not going to be able to rehearse and put together the show that I want you to see and the show that you deserve to see." Fans and celebrities quick to send their support. Singer Brandi Carlile writing Beyond Reproach, and director Ava DuVernay writing Heal Strong, Queen Dolly. One fan joking, currently Googling how to donate my organs to Dolly Parton. And another writing, "You've given so much to the world all these years. We can wait a bit." The 79-year-old assuring the public that she has no plans to retire, saying, "Don't worry about me quitting the business because God hasn't said anything about stopping yet, but I believe he is telling me to slow down right now." Just this year, Dolly suffered the loss of her husband of nearly 60 years. She recently explained why she keeps pushing forward.
I would rather wear out than rust out because I think a lot of people, when they do retire, they start to rust.
Her delayed shows are now scheduled for next September. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, New York.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
Tomorrow is Canada's National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, and we are getting a preview of what's happening in Saskatoon and the importance with Mike Siona. Mike.
Well, tomorrow is the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation in Canada, and so we are here with Dr. Kathy Walker, the Treaty Commissioner in Saskatchewan, talking all about now what we can do moving forward. And you guys are doing a lot of different things. Highlight a couple of them for us.
Okay, so one of the big things we're doing regarding residential schools is assisting communities with, there's actually 8 different former Indian residential school sites that we're working with, assisting them with their archival research and translation to help them identify who is buried in the unmarked graves. We're also doing things like working with municipalities in Saskatchewan to look at possibly a dual designation for Highway 4 that recognizes a really prominent treaty leader, Mr. Himasqua, our chief Big Bear. And we're also doing things like continuing to work on treaty history and treaty education, treaty awareness. Which one of our upcoming events to further that is a conference that we're holding in Yorkton, and it's called the Treaty Learning Journey 2, Living Our Treaties.
Incredible stuff. And as far as for the everyday person who's just sitting here having their cup of coffee in the morning, what can we do specifically tomorrow on the day of National Truth and Reconciliation to make a difference?
I would say reflect on the day, know the truth of residential schools and their ongoing impact, but also get out there to events. Establish real relationships with your First Nations treaty partners, treaty citizens, and understand that we really are all treaty people.
Fantastic. Well, we couldn't have said it any better. We appreciate your time this morning. And again, born from Orange Shirt Day, we've got the orange tie on in advance of tomorrow's National Day for Truth and Reconciliation.
I'm joined now by 2 very special guests. We have Sydney Risler and Nicole Bangs from Inclusion Saskatchewan with me this morning. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming in. I guess let's start, Nicole, Inclusion Saskatchewan, what it is you guys are all about.
Yeah, so Inclusion Saskatchewan is actually a provincial organization, though the event we'll be talking about today is hosted locally in Saskatoon. Inclusion Saskatchewan helps people and their families with intellectual disabilities and supports them to feel a sense of belonging, included in workplace, education, and post-secondary.
Okay, wonderful. A great cause. Now, this event that we were talking about, the Inclusion Breakfast. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so the Inclusion Breakfast this year is actually our 15th annual breakfast. So that's a celebration in itself. And it will be held on October 2nd at 7:30 in the morning. So yes, we will be your first cup of coffee.
Excellent. That'll be fun. Okay, what goes on at this event?
Yeah, so this event has gone on for years. Families, donors, sponsors gather. They bring their esteemed peers and colleagues and host a table. At this time, we launch our premiere of our videos that we do every year, telling stories across the province of inclusion. And people celebrate and come together. It's kind of a magical event. People really look forward to it.
Wonderful. Now, Sydney, you have been a part of this and involved with Inclusion Saskatchewan. What does inclusion and the work being done here, what does that mean to you?
Sometimes systems are very complicated and people with disabilities face many barriers. It is important to have people in your corner who believe in you. When sponsors and community members support this breakfast, they showed that all people deserve to belong in their community.
Okay, and you've attended this breakfast in the past. What are you looking forward to being a part of at the event?
I love seeing the businesses and partners from the previous year and being able to show them how their donations make a difference to us. I like being able to reconnect and say thanks for the donations. They have helped us
out a lot.
Okay, and so this is kind of like a reunion of sorts in some ways, right?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. This is exciting. How can we get involved then and attend this breakfast, Nicole?
Yeah, so you can register still online. You can contact me directly. We have all of our links on there. Everything is available on our website. And this is really vital to provide funding throughout the year for our programs, not just here locally, but throughout the province.
Okay, so this is the big one, but all year round, we want to help out Inclusion Saskatchewan. Again, the website, where can we go to get involved?
Inclusion Saskatchewan website. Check it out. You can donate right on there. You can find everything about the breakfast, all of our educational materials, and learn a little bit more about Sydney's role and all the fun things we do throughout the year.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you guys so much, and best of luck year round.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. It is 8:30, time for your news update. First Nations communities across Saskatchewan are calling for transparency and accountability from the Federation of Sovereign Indigenous Nations. Despite repeated calls, the FSIN has been silent after a forensic audit questioned more than $30 million of spending. Keenan Sorokhan reports.
A number of First Nations leaders in Saskatoon Friday say the FSIN is leaving its people in the dark.
This is $34 million that's unaccounted for. Why? We need the executive to stand up and tell the truth.
An audit from Indigenous Services Canada wasn't able to fully track more than $34 million of expenses, with the majority of it meant as COVID funding for the FSIN's 74 member nations. It's recommending a series of changes to include more reporting, invoicing, and documentation of spending. Arkand, who is on the FSIN's Treasury Board, says he can't access certain information. The budgets or other documents shared at some meetings are vague or incomplete. At a meeting earlier this month where initial audit findings were presented, Arkand says the FSIN executive didn't say one word. He's nervous that 18 months after the audit period ended, the FSIN still wasn't able to explain its spending.
There was no actual receipts, no documentation. That is a problem. But everybody else had to comply. The FSIN is not above the rules.
Chiefs say this audit only shows 5 years of spending. What else has gone on before, and what could continue to happen without wide sweeping changes?
We need accountability, transparency, and return to the principles of integrity, the way our ancestors envisioned.
Speaker after speaker saying the FSIN executive is no longer listening to its chiefs or its people. Indigenous Services Canada says we will continue to monitor the matter in the context of those recommendations and will consult any appropriate authorities as required. Chiefs here are hoping FSIN's spending can be explained and that it doesn't owe money back. Keenan Sorokhan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
We are entering the first full week of the strike at Canada Post. It's been a major disruption for small businesses that rely on the post office to get their products out. Garrett Berry takes a look at some of the dealings with the latest standoff.
Even if her store in St. John's is closed, Sunday is still a working day for Dia Dreve.
I mean, we're always here looking at our stock and seeing what we should be promoting for the upcoming week.
Today, those questions are a bit tougher because a big, lucrative arrival is stuck in the mail.
And it's about $20,000 in sales that we would be benefiting from over the next couple of months. And it will get here eventually. It's just that nobody knows, and it's just a big, uncertain situation.
Strike action brought by CUPW, the union representing Canada Post workers, has brought thousands of shipments across the country to an immediate halt, and a new round of headaches to small businesses who rely on Canada Post's services.
To use those other courier companies, I would have to drive in excess of 2 hours to drop those parcels off.
In the rural Newfoundland town of Triton, where Lisa Chatsakiru has set up her fabric business, Canada Post is the only game in town. During last year's labor dispute, she lost about $7,000 worth of sales. She says it's not clear if she could weather a storm like that again.
We're really going to take a hit because it affects me as a small business, hiring local community members, students in rural Newfoundland.
Tonight, it's back to the drawing board to come up with some creative solutions to this newest challenge.
We're going to try and promote some of the products in unique ways and perhaps have some sales that will hopefully drum up the business.
But with no updates from Canada Post or its workers today, the prospect of a long-term work stoppage remains a frightening one, leaving the future of businesses like this shrouded in uncertainty. Garrett Berry, CTV News, St. John's.
And now to the now to the news that was a jolting as a hot cup of coffee. Starbucks announcing the closure of hundreds of stores across the country, leaving customers and staff steamed by the short notice. CTV's Camille Karamali is gauging the reason and the reaction.
Trouble brewing at this Toronto Starbucks.
I'm surprised and disappointed.
Saturday was the final day for this store.
This is a neighborhood spot, so it's kind of sad that they're closing.
On Saturday, plenty of customers here at this location on its final day. But the very next day, Sunday, the drapes pulled down, the place deserted, and the doors locked. Devastating coffee drinkers. Starbucks said it's closing 1% of its North American stores. That equates to roughly 400 locations, laying off around 900 non-retail employees, shutting down stores where they were unable to create the physical environment our customers and partners expect, or where we don't see a path to financial performance. Although the company did not say how many locations are closing in Canada, dozens of stores were seen shutting down across Ontario, Alberta, and BC, with employees telling CTV News they received less than a week's notice, in some case only 2 days' notice, that they would be without a job. But they did not want to speak on camera, fearing a lawsuit because they say they signed an agreement not to talk to media.
Some of them found out because on the store hours online it said closed.
Starbucks says it provides a severance package with 3 weeks' pay and extended health care. The change is all part of Starbucks' billion-dollar restructuring plan after sales dropped for 6 straight quarters.
In this economy, people are questioning if they want to spend $3 or $4 for a deluxe premium coffee.
Now, retail analysts say the CEO is trying to return to what used to make it so unique.
And he's going to refocus on the in-store experience for the consumer.
Starbucks says it still operates more than 18,000 locations across North America while working to improve the design of about 1,000 of those. Kamal Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
The annual No Foot Too Small walk was hosted in Saskatoon's Kinsman Park on Saturday. That walk raises both money and awareness for pregnancy and perinatal loss through the Empty Arms organization. Hundreds of people showing their support. The event also an important opportunity for those dealing with grief to connect with one another.
You don't want to have that worst case scenario in the back of your mind all the time, and then it happens and you're kind of stuck thinking, well, what do I do now? So having this community and having the resources and the support that's available is so meaningful and helps, like we say, helps families walk their journey. And if we can walk beside them in any small way, we're grateful.
This is the 11th year for the walk. In the front of the Legislative Building on Saturday, Walk for Silent Hearts took place for affected families from prenatal death. The Twinkle Star Project ship knotted blankets to those who have been impacted by prenatal deaths. Twinkle Star is a not-for-profit and ships their blankets across the country through a donation. Before the Twinkle Star Project started in 2016, those on the board would typically keep their stories to themselves. About 100 people gathered to walk.
The loss, no matter how early your loss is, it's heavy and it weighs on you. So having that basket when you go into the hospital or leave your doctor's office brings hope.
To talk about babies who have died just sounds so wrong to people, and it's got this taboo associated with it when there really shouldn't be. You lost your baby. It's nothing shameful about that.
They're working to normalize those conversations. The dart community in the prairies continuing to grow, especially in Saskatchewan. Organizers from the Saskatchewan Darts Association hosted an open tournament in Regina on Sunday. Players coming in from Manitoba, Alberta, and all parts of this great province to compete against one another and practice their technique as well. People of all ages and skill level involved.
Sometimes the game can be very frustrating because I play a better game in my head than I do when I actually throw the darts. But I like the challenge, and I like playing players that are better than me because it brings your game up.
Since people now know that I play, and some of my friends are like, let's go play darts and stuff. So hopefully, the more youth, hopefully I can inspire the youth, which I have some already with the younger kids. They look up to me, so that's good.
Duval, who you just heard from there, is one of 4 people taking his skills to Budapest, Hungary to participate in the international competition over there in October. Let's turn our attention to the Weather Center. And then we got that code word. And remember to listen to Keelan's instructions. It is not a text message contest.
No, but every day we've been getting text messages.
How many?
So we're going to talk about those instructions in just a minute. Could be your chance to have an extra $20,000 in your pocket. But first, we have to talk about the temperatures. 10 degrees to start our day in Regina. Some winds coming in at 24 kilometers per hour in Regina and 20 kilometers per hour in Saskatoon as we wake up to that 9-degree temperature in Saskatoon. Those are going to be increasing later on this afternoon. And just how much, you're probably wondering, well, probably up to about 50 kilometers per hour for all those areas lighting up in yellow. And yes, Saskatoon and Regina are included in those areas. So a gustier afternoon later on today. Other than that, though, not a whole lot to be concerned about. The futurecast really just showing some cloud cover this afternoon and then some cloud cover tomorrow afternoon. Some rain, as you can see, in Alberta. That's going to be tracking eastward, making its way into Saskatchewan by the late evening hours tomorrow, impacting the northern part of the province overnight and into Wednesday morning as well. But really down towards the south, we're just talking about that cloud cover. Current temperatures now showing that the warm-up is happening very slowly in Hudson Bay this morning. 1 degree, 7 degrees though for Melfort, and 11 degrees to start the day in Spiritwood. 5 degrees in Moose Jaw right now, waking up to 8 degrees in Wynyard and 5 degrees for Yorkton. Later on this afternoon, with that wind, we are seeing some pretty nice temperatures, although the wind could be making it feel just a few degrees cooler. Weyburn up to 24, Estevan sharing that afternoon high of 24 degrees. Cooler through Yorkton, 22 degrees, and Prince Albert reaching that high of 23 degrees today. Now, if you're heading out to a pumpkin patch this weekend, it's going to be a fairly nice weekend in Regina, 19 degrees on Saturday and Sunday, up to about 11 degrees. Saturday in Saskatoon, 17 degrees. Sunday, though, probably not the ideal day to go. 11 degrees and rain is what we are currently seeing on our radar. Now, before we get to the weekend, though, you have to make it through the work week, and that is going to be beautiful, especially tomorrow. So the high today is 24 in Regina, but 30 degrees tomorrow for Regina, 26 on Wednesday, 22 on Thursday and Friday with that high of 20 degrees. In Saskatoon, 24 degrees today will be the high, 28 degrees tomorrow, so not quite getting as warm as Regina, but it's still going to be a very hot day. You have to keep in mind that the average for this time of year is going down. This week it's about 15 degrees across the province is that average. So again, enjoy these temperatures this week while they last before they go down for your weekend. Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. Those possibilities are endless. Today's code word is coffee. You have to head on over to the contest page on our website. Don't text us. You can also scan that QR code on your screen. Enter the code word along with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan's $20,000 giveaway.
Wardrobe consideration by Colin O'Brien Man's Shop, defining contemporary style for over 20 years.
This week in sports, we focus in on the 2-1 Swift Current Broncos and head down TC1 to Austin Mattis, who is in the rink bright and early for us this morning. Austin, thanks for doing this. Welcome to the WHL, first of all.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a great time. I want to thank you as well. It's always nice to catch up with you, and it's a pleasure being on the show this morning.
Broadcasting together for the SJHL final last year. And let's talk about the WHL, your 2-1 Swift Current Broncos. How about the start?
Yeah, it's been a great start. And you know what? I think really kind of surprised a lot of people. You know what? Obviously, it's a really young team this year. A lot of young talent, but really inexperienced, right? But we go into those first 2 games, a big one over Regina in that first one. And then this past Friday, a huge win over the defending WHL champion Medicine Hat Tigers. So I think right now, you know what? Surprised a lot of people. Still a lot of work to do, but I think for how young the team is, everything that's going on, a lot of people are really happy with how things have gone so far.
That matchup isn't the same against the Tigers, thanks to $725,000 from Penn State to Gavin McKenna, but still a very good team over there nonetheless. So let's talk about your goaltending situation. Obviously, last year it was kind of in flux for parts of the year. Who's grabbing the bull by the horns this year?
Joey Rocha, without a doubt. You know what? He's been kind of in the shadow a little bit of Reed Dick over the past few years, but even in those first 2 games, you really look at him, had some huge saves there early on in those first halves of the games to kind of give the team momentum. And then right behind him is Aiden Eskid. He got the start there on Sunday against Moose Jaw, his first ever WHL start. Unfortunately, Warriors ended up winning 6-1, but you know what? For a first game, he took a lot of pressure, a lot of shots against them, against a real good Moose Jaw team. And I think this year it's going to be a real good 1-2 punch. But Joey Rocha, he's really going to be leading the team this year in between the pipes. And like I said, he looked back to those first 2 games. I think any fan here in Swift Current will think he did a really good job, made some huge saves when it really mattered. And I think there's a lot to look forward to. Like I said, a lot of young potential, but a lot to look forward to this year with this young Broncos squad. A lot of potential.
Regina, we talk about those #1 and #3 picks, Liam Pugh, Maddox Schultz. Who should we be talking about when we talk about the Swift Current Broncos? Who's getting the farmers off the tractor and into the rink?
Well, I think there's quite a few guys. You know, one guy who's really stood out to me so far, especially in these first couple games, has been Sawyer Dingman. He's the son of former NHL enforcer Chris Dingman, and he's played spectacular. 3 goals in 3 games. He's a young guy, standing about 6'3", 6'4", but can really handle the puck well. And then you also got guys like Noah Kostick. He's a Michigan commit. He's an 08 forward. Another young guy who can really surprise a lot of people. And then looking at some of the older guys as well, you know, we just got Zach Panalakis from the Regina Pats. He's been playing phenomenal so far. He has 4 points in the first 3 games. Then you got guys like Hudson Darby, Trey Wilkie. Really, you know what? I don't want to say there's any one star of the team, because this year it's, like I said, a lot of young, unexperienced young guys, but a lot of guys who have had their time in the league and maybe haven't had that breakout season yet. And I think this year we may see 2 or 3 guys really have that chance to have a huge season.
20 seconds left. If we want to make the road trip to Swift Current, which is the game you circle on the calendar?
I think you definitely come Saturday to see the Regina Pats. The one on Friday is going to be good, but Saturday is our Star Wars night, so you don't want to miss that. It's going to be a great one for the kids, great one for the family. There's going to be over 20 different Star Wars characters dressed up there on Saturday night, so make sure you come by, and it's against the Regina Pats as well. Maddox Schultz, Liam Pugh. It's going to be an exciting one, and like I said, a little rematch to the home opener, so I'm sure there's a little bad blood there as well.
So the challenge to you then on your radio broadcast call is to work in as many Star Wars references as you possibly can and keep track, right? That's the obvious challenge here.
Oh, I'll do my best. I'm hoping you're going to be showing up in your Chewbacca costume there.
That's just how I look on a Saturday, thanks to 2 young kids. Austin, thank you so much.
Yeah, awesome. Appreciate you having me on. Have a good one.
Time, just take your time, honey, I get it. Way you got me all in my head. So strange, I never do nothing, I miss you, I don't. Sometimes I just can't believe you happen.
This morning, Bad Bunny taking over football's biggest night. The 3-time Grammy winner, whose real name is Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio, will headline the Super Bowl 60 halftime show in February, saying in a statement, "What I'm feeling goes beyond myself. It's for those who came before me." Continuing, "This is for my people, my culture, and our history." Adding in Spanish, "Go on and tell your grandma that we'll be at the Super Bowl halftime show." Jay-Z, owner of Rock Nation, which produces the show, saying, what Benito has done and continues to do for Puerto Rico is truly inspiring. Bad Bunny technically made his Super Bowl debut in 2020 with Shakira and Jennifer Lopez. Bad Bunny, dubbed the King of Latin Trap, is having quite the year already with a new album release, wrapping a sold-out 31-show residency in his native Puerto Rico, creating an economic boom in the process, and becoming the breakout star of the summer as waiter turned Adam Sandler's caddy in Happy Gilmore 2.
Remember the happy place I went to? Yes. You go to yours. Okay, I'll try.
Bad Bunny calling it a dream come true.
I think it's going to be a really impactful performance, especially considering his recent Puerto Rico residency, which really focused on the beauty of the traditions of his island. And I'm 100% sure he's going to be bringing that sort of representation to the stage in the Bay Area.
Anticipation has been brewing for weeks.
Our favorite person.
Fans reacting overnight.
I'm so happy. I literally have chills. This is such a big win for all Latinos.
Janae Norman, ABC News, New York.
From fixing and racing bikes to playing drums for a famous band, Mitch Gaindo of Vancouver Island has lived quite a life.
And while he describes himself as shy, he's also not afraid to embrace the spotlight while riding a high-wheeler.
Yeah, Adam Sawatsky, no relation, reports.
And I give it a little push.
Although he makes it look so easy now,
That's it.
there was once a time
I was a very shy kid. I was a weak, sick kid growing up.
when Mitch Gaindo would have found this daunting.
I didn't have a lot of confidence in my ability.
How he got the gumption to eventually get up and do this begins when Mitch was 12.
We had enough, but not extra. And I needed to be able to come up with my own money.
So Mitch got his first job at a bike store, which gave the once weak kid the strength and confidence to become a competitive BMX racer in his teens.
You know, when it came to doing things that were scary, I just decided to take the leap of faith and try anyway and see what happens.
So when Mitch developed a passion for music, he decided to study it in university.
And that turned into a little bit of a serious professional career.
That turned into being hired to drum for Nickelback during the late 90s, forcing the shy kid to face his fear.
I don't think anybody that's seen me perform would ever believe that I'm shy, because I put on quite a performance.
While he and the band split amicably and remain friends, Mitch is still making music regularly when he's not riding a penny farthing occasionally.
Being a performer, whether it's on the bike or playing music or whatever it is, it's all about putting a smile on other people's face for me. And if I do that, then I leave with a smile on mine too.
A smile he wouldn't have inspired if young Mitch hadn't developed the courage to challenge himself.
Don't be afraid to stand out for being different. Embrace that and go with it. The penny farthing is that. Playing drums in a rock band is that.
Don't be afraid to take the first step towards a goal, Mitch says, and do the work to achieve it.
Trust in yourself. Believe in yourself a little bit more. You're going to accomplish some great things.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Duncan.
We desperately need to find one of these things for Jeremy to ride.
Yeah.
And to do the leg thing at the end.
I will do it. Anyone who's got access to one of these, message me. We'll put you on TV, and I'll probably injure myself.
Yeah, he'll probably do it in the kilt from Bagpipes the other day. That would be even
At the same time.
Yeah.
Let's not go too crazy
1%
here.
better. Let's get to your sidebar of the month. All right, so we don't have a show tomorrow. We are back on Wednesday, which means today is the last broadcast day of the month. So here's your sidebar of the month. And we know you've all been excited to show your partner something you bought they were all excited about. Sometimes they react like this.
That's a good thing. Yeah. Oh, wow, it's shiny. Wow. Very shiny. Oh, this part. Oh. Yeah.
Tires.
Very shiny,
Rugged.
she said.
Rugged.
Yes.
She goes beep, beep.
Beep, beep.
Sometimes, it happens, right?
That's what cars say.
Look at my big bike. Look at my big bike. Yep, it's a truck. Cool.
Although I'm sure if the wife tried to show her manicure, he'd be like, nice, good
nails.
color. Great.
No, you gotta feign excitement. Come on, people.
Some do that.
Yeah, all right. Not all heroes wear capes. Some wear furry coats.
Kill it! Kill it! Oh, where is it? Where is it? It's under the couch. Oh, Gary!
A lot of kids trying to catch this cockroach, but it was the pup that managed to catch a nasty critter roaming around the house.
Go, Gary.
If I see a spider in my house, I will take my cat and put it right in front of the spider and just say, please take care of it.
Okay. We got to get to this one really quickly. You'll remember this one. This is a woman that decided to scream into the woods for no apparent reason and then encountered this. Don't know if it's staged or not. Why are you recording yourself yelling in the woods? Hilarious.
Oh, it's therapeutic.
Okay.
Just let it out sometimes.
Oh, we're going to let it out. We'll be back on Wednesday. We'll see you then.